Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name is Brittany and this is my channel all about cross stitch. Do me a favor, like and subscribe down below. Give me a comment. Tell me what you're stitching on, what you've been up to. And I have Cam down here. She was crying because she heard me talking, but she doesn't know who I'm talking to. She wanted help with me. Okay. Of course, there's co-host Cam, who's all excited right now. So, like and subscribe down below. So that way, other people who also like this kind of content can also see it. And it helps me out a little bit. Do me a favor, comment down below. Tell me what you're stitching on. What you have done. Cam, you're okay. Sit. And then we have co-host Theo now. Sit down, Theo. Lay down. They all hear me talking and they think I'm talking to them for some reason. But anyways, tell me what you're stitching on down below. I love having conversations with you guys down in the comments. And hello to my new subscribers and to those who have been subscribed for a while. Welcome back. We are going to do like we always do. We're going to go through my whips. I did not buy anything this month. And then life update. So no haul this month. And then you guys can go on about your day. And those of you who want to just watch whips can just see the whips. And those of you who want to hear life update can listen to the life update. So let's get into the whips. Alright, first one I did. Theo, can you go lay down? They're not jingling. Go lay down. Go lay down. Go lay down. There we go. Alright, so first one. Well, it's not the first one I stitched on this month, but I stitched on it at some point. This is Mirabilia Maidens of the Season 1, but I'm doing Maidens of the Season 1 and 2 all in the same fabric. So this is what it'll look like when it is finished. And this is where you guys saw it earlier this month, because I stitched on this earlier this month. And this is where it is now. Now I'm going to fold this so that way, I guess I can get that up a little closer, can I? There's winter, spring, and summer. Okay, so let me fold this so I can just show you the part that I stitched on, because I stitched this. I work on, hold on a second. Sorry about that, got a frog or something stuck in my throat. I'm gonna take a drink. I stitch on this each maiden in the season that it is, whatever season it is this maiden that I stitch on that month. I don't know why my brain sort of short-circuited there. So it is summer still, so I was stitching on the summer. I got some of her skin in there, as you can see, because I believe I finished. No, I still had some of these. Someone commented last month and said that they think these are peaches. And that very well could be. They might be peaches. I'm not 100% sure if they're peaches or oranges, but the colors look more like they might be peaches. So for the last 2 weeks, I put 1,637 stitches on this, but the total for the month, let me find it here. I've got everything all over the place. Was 3,961 stitches that I put in, and I remember finishing out all of my 2/2 stitching, so I think I was like somewhere around in here and then down over here, and then I started putting in some of her skin, which is really hard to see. Like she's got her eyes in there, her lips are in there, and then some of that skin, 1/1 skin, which is really hard to see on this fabric. But once it gets back stitched, it's fine. So that is that one. How many stitches have I put in this in total this year? 8,307 stitches total this year. Well, I take that back, because the project as a whole, that'd be 11,457 stitches total for both, because I have on my list Maidens of the Season 2 listed as one with Maidens of the Seasons 1 as another. they're separated. Probably should just stick them together, but I didn't. Alright, next one. This is Ophelia by Mirabilia. And this is what it will look like when it is finished. And this is where you guys saw it last time. And this is where it is now. I put, where are you? 929 stitches in this one. So I believe this is the halfway mark, but it might not be. I think that's the halfway mark, but I'm not 100% sure if that's the halfway mark or not. But this is supposed to be a birthday gift for my friend Coral last year. But I didn't get it finished in time because I didn't realize how much a full coverage that is. I'll get it up closer so you guys can see here. So I just didn't get it stitched in time. Oh, and then this side's falling over. I'm just not doing a great job today. But I'm trying to finish it for this year, which means this month I might just work on this. You know, I might just have to pull this out and just go crazy on this because her birthday is at the end of October. So, well, no, because September is my birthday month, and I'm going to start Dimensions Gold Collection Milady Chateau. So I am going to start that on my birthday, which is the 27th of September. But I might just pull this one out and just stitch on it. Well, no, because I got to stitch on the Indian too. I got to stitch on the Indian Maiden. So maybe like do, I don't know. Maybe do 13 days on this and 13 days on the Indian Maiden, and then the rest of it is My Lady Chateau. Possibly do that, because Indian Maiden is a Christmas gift for my mother-in-law, so I kind of also need to get that one done. But this one here is the one that kind of takes priority right now. So I might do that. What, Ophelia? Where are you? 929 stitches is all I put in that. And I don't think I told you guys. So Maidens of the Season 1 and 2 is stitched on 32 count, hand dyed by me. And it is done 2/2, except for the skin is done 1/1. And Ophelia, and it was started, Maiden Seasons 1 was started March 9th of this year, and Maidens of the Season 2 was started December 10th of last year, 2024. Ophelia was started August 4th of 2024, and she is stitched on 28 count, and she stitched 2/2, except for the skin is done 1/1. That is that one. Well, I'd also like to stitch on Maidens of the Season 2 or 1 because what on the, is it the 20th or 21st of September, the season it switches to fall. I think it's the 21st, but I can't remember. I'd have to look, and I don't want to look right now. So maybe pull Maidens of the Season out for like a day, put as many stitches as that I can, and then one day, and then focus on the other two, because there's no time limit for Maidens of the Season widths. I don't know. I'll figure it all out. I can't make concrete plans, or I won't want to do them. That's just a me thing. Okay. Next one I stitched on is a Realist kit. This is, let me look for it. Eastern Fairy Tale by Realist. And this is what it'll look like when it is finished. And this is where you guys saw it last time. And this, let's see if I can get it folded right here. Hold on. That's why wants to cooperate with me today. And here it is. Now this one I put 761 stitches in. And I know I was working, I know I put the rest of this in and started feeling in here to get that all filled in. This one I started March 27th of 2025, and it is a 14 count. I believe it's natural Ada. It's all kit. Everything that came in the kit. So that is that one. I know I'm a weird one. If I make concrete plans, I'm just like, I'll spaz out and then not do it. Alright, next one is a dimensions kit. Just a regular dimensions kit. This is in Harmony. Artwork is by, let me see. Colleen Bogle. And it is stitched on 14 count navy Ada. But here's what it'll look like when it is finished. And here's where you guys saw it last time. And here it is now. So, I think I told you everything. 14 count Ada. This is all stitched as the pattern calls for it. So, some of it's half cross, some of it's full cross, some of it's 2-strand, or some of it, I think, some of it's 3-strand, 4-strand, 5-strand, whatever neck the pattern calls for. That's how it's getting done. And I put 2,681 stitches in total in this bugger. And my goal is to finish doing all the background here. I'm going to finish doing all the background, which it goes up to right here. So from here to here is all that's left. I want to finish doing that background, and then I just have, I believe, this wolf left to put in, and that is it, and then it'll be finished. But that is that one. And I don't know if I said that I started this December 12th of 2021. That's when I started that one. And that one is getting done for my daughter, Abigail. Alright. I'll deal with it later. Alright. Next one is by Mirabilia. This is Mermaid of the Pearls. This one is out of print, but you can usually get her on the secondary market. And if you heard my story about this earlier this month, I saw it on, I think it was eBay, if I remember right, and it was just for $50, which is, like, that pattern, like, some people have it listed for, like, $100, and I think that's crazy. And it had shipping included, and when I got the package, everything was in there except for fabric. So, way more beads than what it needs, and like the original treasures, I mean, the floss, everything was in there. So I was like, oh, it's destiny, it needs me to start it. Besides, I finished Mermaids of the Deep Blue earlier this year, so I had no more Mermaids on the go. So I mean, fate just twisted my arm, I had to start it. But anyways, this is what it'll look like when it is finished. And this is where you guys saw it, what, 2 weeks ago? Not quite 2 weeks ago. And this is where it is now. So, let me see. I gotta flip this page. I put an additional 4,919 stitches, which most of that would be skin. And I think I got... yeah, I got everything completed up here. All the beads and everything is completed up there. The only thing is that there's treasures and there's giant, is it pebble beads? Is it? Yeah, I think it's pebble beads. And I don't put the treasures and the pebble beads in. Like, seed beads and petite beads, I'll put those down and continue scrolling. But I'll put the treasures and, like, pebble beads and pony beads, because they're a lot larger, in at the end, because they will make your fabric distort. It'll make it look funny. But that is that one, and I started this one August 13th of 2025, and it is stitched on 28 count, and like everything else, it is done 2/2, except for the skin is done 1/1, and that's how far I got on that one. And also, these are bubbles over here, and I've painted bubbles many times, and to to make it really look like a bubble, there's usually a very dark outer edge. So I just took, I think it was 930. I don't know. It was the color that's listed in the pattern. And of course, I don't have that there, but I have this. Hold on. Yeah, 930. It would be 930. Look, this was, I reused these. That was the Rose of Sharon, and now it's got Mermaids with pearls stuck on it. Anyways, that's how I keep my patterns put away. But yeah, so I got all the beadwork in here, which is so much beading in there. It's not even funny. And then I can get you guys up pretty close here.
228 Super Mike. Look.
Let me pull back so that way. There we go. Get it right. But that is that.
What is that?
So that is Mermaid of the Pearl. I'm sorry if you hear Lydia upstairs. She's playing a game and hanging out with some friends. But I don't have time the rest of this week to do things. All right. Next one is also by Mirabilia. This is Roses of Provence. And this is what it will look like when it is finished. And this is where you guys saw it last time. And this is where she is now. I put 1,555 stitches on her this month. She was started March 16th of 2024, and she is stitched on 28 count, hand dyed by me. And of course she stitched 2/2, except the skin is done 1/1. And I was finishing putting in this tree, which let me look at it. Yep. It's got all the beadwork done, so I must have gotten, I think maybe I got the top half finished. I'm not 100% sure. Or I'm close to it, but I'll get her up here closer so you guys can see her. I know I was working on all of this over here. I think I got all of that done. Except for I don't think I got the rest of the beads down here yet done. But for the most part, the top half is I'm done. And I think I told you everything about this one. Oh, I know that all the beadwork isn't done because I see random stitches floating out in the middle of nowhere that belong to certain parts, and that means, like, see that random stitch right there? That means it's right here. That means there's beadwork in there. That's how I know. So a little more beadwork on the top half, and then it will be finished. All right, there is that one. Last one I worked on. This is by Bella Filipina. This is Gaia, the Earth Goddess. And this is what she will look like when she is finished. And this is where you guys saw her last time. And this is where she is now. So I'm working on putting critic in. I gotta do all the critic for this part of the, I guess it's sort of like a cape, I guess. And then all of the, I gotta put the critic down in here and on the butterfly, and then beat it, well, I gotta backstitch all that and then beat it, and then that is it. And then all I have is this very little bit down here at the bottom, which isn't very much left to do, and she will be finished. I must have made the margins on this tight. No, I don't think so. But that is Gaia, the Earth Goddess, and she is, I started her March 30th of 2023. She's stitched on 28 count, hand dyed by me. She's done 2/2, except for the skin is done 1/1. And I put 2,055 stitches in her this month. I'm trying to get the whole thing in frame. I must have set this camera really close to me today or something. But yeah, that is Gaia, the Earth Goddess. And she is almost finished. I don't know, maybe if I can get Ophelia and Indian with like some good progress on those two, maybe I will pull her out to finish her by the end of the month. So what, so far this year, I have 15 new starts and only 7 finishes. So we are not going to get close at all to having the same amount of finishes as we do starts this year. But that's okay. And let's see. This month I put 20,012 stitches in total. And for the year, I've got 187,572 stitches I have put in so far this year, which is a lot. Anyways, that is it for my whips this time. So, if you were just here to see that stuff, thank you so much for stopping and hanging out with me. Trust me, it doesn't offend me at all. There are times where I have time to watch and listen to people's life updates, and sometimes I don't. And I just want to see their stitching, so sometimes I do that and then go. It doesn't offend me one bit. I'd rather you watch what you want to watch and go on about your merry way, so that way you can continue having a good day. Next, we're going to go through the life update because I don't have any haul. And that's that. Alright, so Grandma Joanne has not been feeling good the last 3 weeks. This is week 3. I was supposed to go see her Friday, but she really wasn't feeling good, and she called me and asked me not to come up. So I was like, okay. I was like, the soonest I could come up and see you then would be Sunday, which was yesterday, because today is September 1st. And I said to her, I can't come Saturday because it was my little sister Charlie's baby shower. I don't know if I told you guys, but she's having a little girl, and she's due in the end of November. So we had her baby shower that I had to go to on Saturday. And then mowing. I gotta take another drink. And then we had yards and stuff we had to catch up on from everybody else, because usually Saturdays are the days that we do all that. So I was like, okay, we'll come up Sunday. And then she called me yesterday morning and said that she was feeling sick, and she's not sure if she caught something, so she wanted me to stay home in case she did, in case she did catch something. She doesn't want to get me sick and stuff, which is no big deal. And but I just told her, hey, Cam, Theo, leave your sister alone. Quit picking on her. Go lay down. Anyway, so I've been going up and like normally she would like dust, and she has a robot vacuum and usually push that button, but at least once a month we get the regular vacuum out and like really, make sure everything's moved around and get all that stuff cleaned up. Well, anyways, so she called me and said she was sick and wasn't feeling good and asked for me to not come up. So I was like, okay. I was like, but do me a favor, like, if you're really not feeling good, like, don't worry about dusting, don't worry about cleaning, don't worry about doing your laundry, don't worry about washing your dishes. Like, if you're really not feeling good, your body is calling for you to rest. So lay down and rest, and I will get, like, the house all tidy and stuff whenever I come up this Friday. And she was like, okay, and she was like, thanks. And I was like, do you need anything at all? Do you need me to go to the store and pick up prescriptions? Do you need any food from the store? Like, is there anything that I can get you to, so that way she'll, force herself to do a bunch of other stuff and she can just lay down on the couch and be fine. And she said no, she just was not feeling good. So I just kind of have this feeling of like, it's either the kidney disease is ramping up now, and like that's going to be devastating in and of itself, or it's or she just caught something because she's in and out of doctor's offices 3-4 times a dang week. So I don't know, but hopefully she'll get to feeling better and stuff. But I don't care how she feels this coming Friday. I'm coming up because I'm going to make sure our house is in tip-top shape. And I also started grooming her old dog, Nipper. He is 18 years old, I think he is, but he's very old. And the last time we took him to the groomers, they were like, we can't keep doing this. Like, he's gonna have a heart attack on the table. He does not want to do this. So I was like, all right, well, he was in pretty rough shape. So I told her, I was like, it might take us like a month to get him fully trimmed. But, you know, I only want to do, you know, as much as he can tolerate, you know, and I've done it all before. I know how to do it all. So, we started that. So her dog has, you know, like half of his back body is shaved because then he just wasn't tolerating it. But I really needed to get around his bum and his male parts, so that way, you know, they would not get poop stuck in the fur, or, you know, urine stuck in his fur and things like that. And I was able to get his butt really good, but he was just being a pain in the butt to get his male parts cleaned up. So I had my husband pick him up and hold him his back against his chest, so that way I could, you know, carefully open his legs and shave all that down. And when we did that, we found out that, like, the dog's really old, so he doesn't really have bladder or bowel control anymore. But because of how much, it's been over a year since he's, like, been, like, he's been trimmed up some, but not, like, underneath there, because she can't get there. But, because of how much fur was there, like, he actually, it looks like he has, like, some sort of, like, yeasty skin infection in there. And I was like, well, I guess it's a good thing that we, you know, came up here and just decided, you know, just do it, because we didn't want to, you know, hurt the little guy. But, like, he needed what's called a comfort groom, just so that way, you know, he's not getting mats and things like that. And so it's not going to look pretty or anything, but, you know, it's more so that, you know, he's not being overheated or getting mats or anything like that. But anyways, after shaving that, like, yeah, he definitely needs to go down to the vet to see what's going on there, which I don't know if there's anything else they really can do, because he is also in kidney failure. So, I don't know. But that happened with her dog, Nipper. Abby saw the children's specialist. I think I told you guys she was going down there. When we got down there and they weighed her, she's now lost 23 pounds. Since her surgery, and from her stomach being massively upset all the time. They put her on a different medication, and it seems to be somewhat working. Not like it is making her stomach feel better, but it's not taking it completely away. But next month they're going to be doing a scope down into her belly to make sure she doesn't have any ulcers or anything like that from any of the medication that she took after surgery. So hopefully, I mean, even if, I wish this medication would just work and then she could just go on with her normal life. But after this, I have to take her out and get blood work done, so that way that's done. The kids started school. Abby went off to 10th grade. Lydia went off to 5th grade. And Lydia has, I think, 5 teachers, and only 1 is a girl. So most of her teachers this year are boys. And then Abby had quite a few male teachers this year too, which I just think is weird. I guess when I was growing up, there was mostly female teachers we had. I mean, there were a couple male teachers, but not as many. But they all seem like really excited guys and really excited teachers to, you know, be teaching. I had my next appointment with the pain clinic, and I was so upset that I just kind of, like, I was like, that was something. Basically, I went in there and they were like, well, we're definitely not going to do the shots again because you stayed awake for almost 4 days straight from it, and then made the problem 10 times worse. And it was just like, well, there's nothing really we can do for you. You just have to go to physical therapy. And I'm just like, physical therapy threw their hands up because I was there for months and nothing was getting any better, and said, you need to go to doctors and get more imaging done because there's got to be something else wrong, and until you have all that stuff done, like, there's no point in coming back here. So basically the pain clinic I went to was just like, well, you need to go to physical therapy. And then physical therapy's like, no, like, we've done months of freaking physical therapy. It's done nothing. Like, it's time to go get the MRI. And then the pain doctor, he's like, there's no point in doing an MRI. It's all muscle related. And it's like, but physical therapy is saying there's no way that it's all muscle related, because, like, no matter how they stretch me and what they do, those muscles aren't relaxing at all. So pretty much I left out of there like, I was so frustrated. It wasn't even funny. And I was just like, so there's nothing you can do here. And he just continued like talking and things like that. I'm like, just give it to me straight, doc. Like there's nothing you can do for me. So why am I continuing to sit here in your office taking up time if you're throwing your hands up and saying there's nothing you can do? And then he was just like, well, I'm just not sure what to tell you. And I'm just like, I'm not one of those people that are shopping doctors to get narcotics or anything. Like, if you look through my charts, even whenever after I've had surgery, like, I've declined taking them because they make me sick. Like, I get an upset stomach from it. Like, it doesn't help me, and it just makes me feel crappier. And then he suggested I take Tylenol and ibuprofen every day to help. And it's like, but that's not getting down to the issue of the problem. Like, I don't want to live with this for the rest of my life. I would like to find out what is going on, so that way I can either fix the problem and, or, have, some sort of way to go to figure out how to, do this. I don't want to just sit there and mask my pain, and that's that. And I was just like, and on top of that, like, I have chronic migraines, and the only way to get them to be tolerable so that way I can function whenever I get them is 4 extra strength ibuprofen or Tylenol mixed with 2 freaking Sudafed that brings it down to the point where I can function to an extent. And I was like, and my neurologist has told me like you can't take the ibuprofen or Tylenol on a daily basis because of this, because your kidneys, your stomach, and your liver are all in jeopardy because of these. And that, even though they've tried, a million different combinations of everything underneath the gosh darn sun for my migraine, for different medications, and nothing works, I just feel like every single doctor I go to just throws their hands up in the air and it's just like, that's life. And it's like right now, like, it hurts so bad right in here. It's not, like, it feels like a rock. Like, there's no other way to put it. And it hurts. And it's like, I can feel it pulling constantly all the dang time. It never ends. Damon moved to Kansas. And I don't think I told you guys this. But Damon moved to Kansas this month. And he just went like that. And I'm, like, really, really happy and proud for him. Because, like, almost his entire life we have lived in this house. We've never moved while he was here. Like, the fact that he just, jumped at an opportunity and packed his stuff and went, and, like, it amazes me, but at the same time, it's like, dude, you're, like, 18 hours away from me now, so, like, if you need me, like, it's going to take me a minute to get to you, instead of, just being able to go, the next town over and go and help you do whatever you need to do. It's like, that makes me nervous, but at the same time, you're 19 gosh darn years old, you're an adult, like, you can do what you want. It just, my mommy heart is a little sad that you're far away. He got his motorcycle license, so he can do that now. Yeah, so it's all just sort of like a whirlwind of that. And this week has been so cold. I was just like, no, like, it's still August yet. It's not time for, like, overnight. What was the one night? It was 38 degrees overnight the one night. And, well, a couple of nights it was like that. And during the summertime, instead of shutting our furnace off, I just turned the furnace down to 69 degrees. So that way, if it reaches, that it'll kick on, because sometimes in June, you get those, that's the iffy month on whether or not you're going to need heat or not. Theo. And, so I do that. I love you, but I don't want you trying to lick me in the mouth. I'm not into that, man. But, so yeah. And then, I'm trying to think, but I remember waking up in the middle of the night. It was probably like 3 o'clock in the morning. And I could hear the furnace running. And at first I was like, what in the world is that noise? So then, of course, like, it woke me up for good. Like, well, not for good, but it woke me up enough that, there was no way I could lay back down and go back to sleep easily. And I walked out and I realized that, it's this stinking furnace, you genius. And then I was like, oh, wow, I didn't realize it was going to get even that cold. I don't really check the weather. I don't need to. When a migraine comes, I know it's going to rain. Like, I don't really need to look. But, yeah, so it's been kind of chilly, and I'm hoping, there were a couple days where I think the highest it got was like 63 degrees out, and I'm like, dude, this is like end of September, October weather right now. Where is my summer of, like, usually August and like the end of August and most of September are, you know, in like the 70s. So hopefully we get back up there. But anyways, that's all I have to tell you guys, and I'll see you guys in 2 weeks. Bye.